Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and today I'm going to make another cane similar to one that I've made before. It was my retro cane that I made quite, a couple years ago now. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use a square extrusion. I've had people ask me if they could use the square extrusion. And since I've never done that, I thought I would give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Makin's extruder. And just unwind this to pull the plunger back. But I've got some black and some white rolled out at a number 2 on my pasta machine, which is 7 cards. I'm just going to lay my extruder aside. I have a cutter that's very close to the same diameter as my extruder. So I'm just going to use that to measure. I'm going to put my square die in there. And I'm just going to cut a bunch of black and white circles. I don't know how many I'm going to use, so I figured I would just do as many as I can with what I have to work with. And I may use them all, I may not. Because it's such a random thing, the design itself is very random. You can probably never get the same design twice. But I don't have any more of my black and white cane, so that's why I thought I'd go ahead and try it. I may even add a little pop of color. That might be something I could do just to make it different. Let's see, what color goes good with black and white? Maybe red? Oops. Alright, so there's my white. I don't think I'll need any more, but I'll cut all of it just because it's here. And then I'll cut my black. Okay, maybe I'll save my pop of color for the next one and just stick with the black and white for now. But it's strictly a random mixture of colors that you put into the extruder. Now I'm going to start with a black, and then I think I'll add a white. Maybe I'll add 2 whites. And then I'll add 2 blacks. And then a white. And a black. I think I'll go back to 2 blacks. But you just stack it in any, there's really no rhyme, no reason to what you're doing. Just vary it some, put some single layers and some double layers. Now I am going to end this, start it and end it with a black. And the reason I'm doing that is because the color that goes next to the end of your extruder is the color that will pull itself around the outside. And I just believe this looks better with a black outside. But it's not quite long enough yet. And you see, I don't worry about getting it straight, because what I'm going to do now is roll this a little bit to kind of push it together, and to also make it a little bit narrower so it'll fit into my extruder. That goes in just fine, and I'm putting the double layer of black on the end. So then I'm going to put this on. I'm going to leave my clay here because I'll use this next grouping. I will put that little pop of color in. Let me move my clay out of the way. One thing I did do is I cleared up enough space to cover up, that I can move my things out of the way. I'm just going to leave those there, and I'll probably add a little red to that one. But anyway, then you just extrude. And I like to use a little gripper on this. It just makes it easier on the hands. It's going to take a few turns before you can feel the pressure. It's beginning to extrude. Now, I really would have preferred a smaller square, but this is the smallest square I've got, except a teeny tiny little one. I would like to have had one in between the two, but this will work for my purposes. But you can see, because I put the black next to the end of the extruder, most of the outside is black. And it's because it kind of drags down the side. Oops, I wasn't paying attention. And I'll just cut this off and back this up a bit. I don't like to leave pressure. That's where it kind of kinked a little while ago when I wasn't paying attention. And I'm just going to see where half is. Lay them out flat. They don't have to be butted up against each other. I'm just doing that to help hold them flat. Because it does twist as you extrude it. So you want to get this straight. Let me get my ruler out and see how long that is. Let me cut this uneven end off. And this is, say, 10 inches. If I cut this little bit off. So I will cut this at 5. And then I'll cut it at 2.5. Whoops. Five, 6, 7.5. All right, now we can look at these and see what we've got. See how these come out? Instead of, they still have a little bit of roundness to them. And this is the blackest end. Let's see, let me look at these. So I don't want to get, so I'll put these two together. Look at the ends and make sure they're not the same. And there's the black end, which is where the very first part that came through. And let's see what else I've got that might be a little bit different. Let's see. I'll go ahead and do 4. There's another black one, but I'll save that for the next side. And then I will arrange 4 more on top, and again, try not to get the same or similar designs. I'll put that black one down. Oh, there's 3 black ones. But if I turn it over, and I'm just going to pull it out a little bit just so I can make it maybe 3 inches. Being that it was just extruded, it's still nice and warm and flexible. Almost there. And then I'll cut at 1.5. And I won't put these together the same as the cut. Well, maybe I'll... Tell you what, let me slice the other side. Let me just see which way I want to put these together. Let me cut off these uneven ends. I can do that. I can do that. Right now this one looks the most pleasing to me. I think I'll leave it that way. But now you have a nice cane. Keep your edges square. You know, don't let them get round on you. And then you can slice this and lay them side by side on a thin piece of scrap clay, and you can have a veneer of this design. So let me do one more with a little pop of color. Let's see how that one turns out. You roll this back down. This has a little bit of black on it, but that's okay because I'm going to put black in it again, so it doesn't matter. And let me see. I have some yellow and purple already rolled out, but I'm thinking more along the lines of a red. So this is cadmium red, I'm not going to cut much because I only want a couple of circles. So I'm going to do maybe half of the 1 ounce block. Run this through the pasta machine a little bit to condition it. And I'm just going to cut a few of these, because I don't want this to be prominent. I just want it to be a little pop in there somewhere. I think I'll only cut 4. Again, I'm going to start with black. I think I'll just put 1 black and maybe 2 whites. And a black, and a white, and a red, and another white, and maybe 2 blacks. It's just like I say, just whatever you feel like doing. I'll just put singles, and then I'll put a double white. And I might put 1 more red in there. And I don't know why, I just feel like the white with the red, it probably would do better than the black and the red. But I'll put 2 blacks, a white, a black, and 2 whites. Well, I might just put another red. I think that'll be enough. I'm anxious to see what this will look like with a little bit of another color mixed in with it. Now you can do this with a lot of different colors. You can use scrap clay and extrude it, and you'll end up with some really nice designs. Oops. Well, there goes my ruler. And let's just see what this gives us. I think I'll lay this back down so it doesn't get this other clay on it. And we'll just see what happens. Of course, we know the end is going to be black. And it's going to drag the black up the sides. One thing I have learned in extruding is that you try not to stop, because if you stop, it usually puts a little kink in it where you've stopped, and then you start again and you end up with this kink. Now I do see some red on the outside, so that's going to make this interesting. Back it off a little bit. And again, I will see where half is. Right about there. didn't get quite as twisted as the other did. So let me cut off my uneven ends. And see what we've got. Except I dropped my ruler on the floor. This again is 10 inches. If I tried to do that, I never would have been able to get it. So I'll cut it 5, 7.5, and 2.5. See, that's got a red circle in it. Oh, this is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that. See the little teeny tiny little red square on the outside? So that looks too much the same. Just try, when you put them together, try to make it so that they're not too close to being the same. See, there's that one. It's just a little pop of red in there. Sorry, I've gotten so quiet. Just thinking of all the possibilities here. And again, I'm just going to make sure they're pressed together good, and I'm going to stretch it out till it's about 3 inches, so I'll have an 1.5 inches to work with. Anything less than 1.5 inches, I have a hard time working with. So I try to make everything at least 3 inches or 1.5 inches. Got about 1/4 inch to go. Then I'll cut this in half and we'll see what we've got. Let me cut these ends, uneven ends off, because I may flip these. I like that little bit of red. I think I like that. Excuse me. One day I'll get over this cough. This one I'm going to press together this way rather than use my roller. And there you go. There's one with just a little pop of red in it. Here's the other one. So yes, you can use a square extruder die. Just make sure you keep your corners square, because when you slice it, you want to make sure that they fit up next to each other. And you could even mix these two. I could put a slice of this and a slice of this, you know, and alternate. But there you go. There's another retro cane. This one I cut a little uneven, it looks like. But another retro cane that I hope you'll enjoy. as much as you enjoyed the round one that I did a year and a half, 2 years ago. So there you go. Let me come in a little closer so you can see. There you go. Simple. All you need is an extruder and some clay and just, you know, a roller. You need either roll it. I did roll these out on a number 2, which is 7 cards if you're using the card method. And that's what you get. Of course, if you want bigger canes, you can just use more clay. If I'd used more clay, I could have extruded a second one like this. If I had not put the red in this, I would have extruded another one, and I would have made this a little bit bigger. But since I was going to put the red in it, I decided not to. So have a great day. Come back again next week for another polymer clay video. Bye-bye.